Paper, yeah. It's our time. One love. It's Paperboy Prince. I'm Paperboy Love Prince, and I'm running for Congress right here in New York 7th Congressional District. I wanted to show you all something because a lot of the behind the scenes in politics you don't see. Many of our local newspapers have been closed down, and so you don't get to see a lot of the behind the scenes of what happens. And for this reason, a lot of us don't know the Donald Trumps that are in our local elected officials, the Donald Trumps that are in the Democratic Party. You know, we get so focused on the president that we forget about all of the Donald Trumps that are in Congress and that are in the Democratic Party and that aren't working for you, right? And I'm just using Donald Trump to basically convey the message of a politician that isn't working for you or doesn't align with your values. Now, the video I'm about to show you is a congressperson right here in New York, a couple miles away, who's been in office for over 30 years, has been in Congress for over 30 years. Now, mind you, this is someone who's great friends with, you know, the person I'm running against, and the whole culture of the local elected officials. This is their culture. They care about nothing except for staying in power as long as possible. They want to stay in power until they are so sick that they can no longer work. They want to stay in power that long, and there are no term limits on Congress members, so they get to stay in as long as they want. You know, a president can only stay in for 8 years, right? A congressperson, they can stay in forever. They literally can stay in forever, and none of them are fighting to have term limits on Congress. So if Donald Trump wanted to run for Congress, he could stay in there forever. Think about that. And that's what I'm going to show you in this next video. This person's name is Eliot Engel, running for office in the Bronx. He's already a Congress member. This has been in for 30 years. This is the same thing they tell us about our elected officials. Oh, they've been in there so long. They're so good for you. You know, they fight for progressive values. You know, they're standing up for what's right. That is all lies. It's a lie, 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 lie. They're not fighting for you. All they care about is staying in power. And then once they get out of power, they want to personally hand select the next person to replace them so that the people never have any opportunity to gain that power. Right now, there was a Black Lives Matter protest a little bit ago, and this congressperson, came and spoke at the Black Lives Matter protest and wanted to say, you know, their piece. And there was a lot of people there, and the person basically says, if I didn't have a primary, meaning if I didn't have an election coming up, I literally would not care about Black Lives Matter, about the movement, about the protest, any of it. If I didn't have a primary, I wouldn't care. I literally would just be at home chilling. I would be on vacation, which is a lot of them do. They're on vacation. So watch this video for yourself. If you don't believe that it's real, you guys have to see this for yourself. All right, let's see. Here it is.
Don't do that to me. We're not going to do this. We're not going to. There's too many folks, and there's just too many folks here. Say that again. Don't do that to me. We're not going to do this.
So you see right there, he says, if I didn't have a primary, I wouldn't care. If I did not have a primary, I wouldn't care. He repeats it. He's so confident and so arrogant and so comfortable. See, this is the problem with a lot of our local Congress people. They're so comfortable, they're not even worried about a challenger. They already know that they're going to cheat. They already know that they're going to use corruption and voter suppression to make sure that your voice isn't heard. But just to put the icing on the cake, they'll show up at a protest to get some extra face time for the cameras. But deep down, they know if they did not have an election coming up, they wouldn't care. That's why when it's an election, not an election year, you rarely even see them or hear from them. A perfect example is my opponent. They've been vacationing all over the Caribbean, haven't posted anything on social media hardly. And since our campaign has started ramping up, of course, they're posting all the time now. Of course, they're claiming that they're fighting for all these issues. Of course, all the same issues that we have been championing since forever. Now they're coming out and saying that they're in favor of them because they have an election. They're lying to you. I'm trying to break this down in the most simple way. They are lying. I put a suit on, say they are lying to you. This is who we have in office right now. And you know, this is why we have to fight back against these corporate Democrats. Again, if Democrats were perfect, New York would be perfect. There would be no problems in New York because New York is basically all Democrats. New York is basically all Democrats. But the issue is there are corporate Democrats that are beholden to the banks and to the corporations and not the people. My opponent personally has taken, I mean, so much money from the banks you can't count it. Literally, it would take you days and days and days to count how much money my opponent has taken from the banks, right? They do not care about you. And that's who's keeping these people in power. Even the money that they receive, most of it isn't from the district. So the people that run New York aren't in New York. Most of that money comes from places all over the country that are other corporations that are funding these politicians. So the people who actually run New York elections don't even live in New York. So I just wanted y'all to see this video. That was Elliot Engel, and who said, "Hey, if I didn't have a primary, I wouldn't care." And you know, this is the sentiment in the culture. The same way how the police have a culture of like, "Yo, we'll do whatever we want." That's the same way how these Congress people have a culture of like, we're comfortable, we'll do whatever we want. If there's a lot of media attention to something, we'll pretend like we care. If there's an election, if not, you'll never hear from me. You'll never see me. Do you even know who your local congressperson is? You don't, because they don't care about your issues. They're not fighting for you. So make sure that we get elected June 23rd. Tell everybody to go out and vote. Get your people excited. Let them know. We're out here, paperboyprince.com. Paper, yeah. I love you. Talk to you soon. Peace.